Hear court is now in session. I am the Honorable Stadium Queen, and you are on the Gransberry Chronicles Weekly Pick'em. And I got my boy, the villain on Halloween, D. Jones.
What's up? What's popping?
What's popping? We're gonna get Coach Pat later, but it's Halloween. I figured I'd join in, and most people probably thought I'd be a ref. I thought about it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, you're still a judge.
Yeah, I'm still a
ref, judge. You're still making the calls.
Look, hey, I'm laughing because since my LASIK, I haven't had to wear glasses. So it's weird to me now to actually be in glasses. So I'm today I was like, oh my God, because I actually been in a Halloween costume all day. I decided to be a full participant, as they would say. So I thought about being a villain. I should have been like the Leo slasher. That would have been
The Leo slasher.
the Leo slasher. That would have went over very well.
I did.
You did?
I did. Next year. You got
Next year I can be the Leo slasher. But we've hit almost our concept of halfway, right, of the season, because this is week 9, and teams are starting to separate themselves. But what I will say is I definitely was surprised by some games in week 8, but it was probably my own team I was more surprised about. I think
it was an odd week for a few teams.
You say odd, but I probably won't say odd because I picked most of those teams.
I feel you on that, but okay. I think what was odd to me was the way things happened. Because even with the Texans, I wasn't surprised by the loss because I feel like they're in games that they can win, even though they're favored. Yeah, but it was how they lost. Even with Kansas City, division games never really get to me like that when they happen, but it's like how it unfolded, and it's like that game wasn't even really competitive for them. It would look like a different team. It was almost like, in sticking with the theme of Halloween, you had some teams that had different masks on this week. You know what I'm saying? So it was like it was a little different, and that's what I mean when I say odd. It was like it wasn't the win-loss thing that got me because any given Sunday, but it was how some of the teams looked in their performance that I was like, this doesn't look like what they look like all year. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
That's what was kind of, interesting to me.
Well, exactly what I, said about the Cincy 49ers game.
Yep. You was on that
is one. Exactly, and I get, like I told you that day, I get why you said, okay, they're home, they'll get back in the groove. And I was like, nah, I think Cincy is playing more together as a team. And I saw an interesting comment. I can't remember who posted it, but they were more like everything has to be perfect for a system to work if you are bought in only to a system, right? Okay. And I think for what it's worth, the system had some shaky parts this week, and that's why it couldn't execute the way they wanted it to, because you need every piece that you normally have for that to work.
Yeah, and the best that's a conversation for us to have, really a topic, because I mean, when you think about it, I think what we love about the game so much is every offense is a system, every play is
right. And I was gonna say, I was gonna give a better example of what I mean by the system.
No, I get what you're saying too.
Yeah,
go ahead.
And I think my best example, which I have to find a way to shout it out, is my nephew's team in DeSoto. Shout out to the DeSoto Eagles winning district this past weekend by taking down Duncanville. But there was a point in the game where the starting running back for that game was ejected, and
for which team?
For DeSoto.
For DeSoto, okay.
And so when he was ejected, my mindset just in football, he immediately messed up the rotation, right? Okay. Because you the lead and it's supposed to be recovery. for you. Okay. And yes, injuries happen, but there's a difference between injuries and you just kill the whole game plan. Now, mind you, their ace running back, he got hurt first week, but he fine. He'll be able to play in the playoffs, but he wasn't dressed. And you could tell he was thinking like that too, because he immediately went over to him and was like, dude, you just messed up the whole setup because
now we 3 deep.
we
Now we're
three
going 3-4 deep now.
yeah.
Okay.
And we game planned for you. And as we know, running backs are different. You got it straight up the middle, and you got the corners.
Yeah.
So now you making your line have to work differently for what that wasn't the game plan. And yes, you're supposed to be next man up and you're supposed to adjust. But if you set a game plan in motion, so let's say you lose the running back, then you lose the receiver. Like it becomes difficult to function on the field. And so that's all I meant by that. Every team obviously is a system, right? You running a 4-3 defense or you not, right? So that's those decisions. You running 2 in the slot, you running 4 receivers and a running back. What you gonna make those decisions, or a tight end, whatever. But at the end of the day, the reason you have practice all week is because you have an intention of a game plan. And when I don't think the game plan that they were planning on, I think for me, it felt like they keep adjusting to the loss instead of just coming up with a game plan for the week. If you remember in our older days of having O'Brien, it felt like every week he had a different agenda.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, well, wait, what's the team's identity? What are we doing?
What are we doing?
So that's kind of what I mean.
No, I agree with you there too. And I love the next man up mentality, but let's be real. The talent level changes the deeper you go down to the next man. So I mean, yeah, you expect them to perform, you expect them to execute, but the talent, we understand they reload, not rebuild. I understand that. But yeah, we also know not only do you affect the styles, the game plan, but the talent level changes too. So yeah, man, I mean, it was a great game for them to pull it out. I saw the highlights of it, but shout out to nephew.
Yeah,
big game nephew.
It's always hard for me to try to express my love for his love of the game, because there's 2 factors that always be in the way. One, he my nephew, right? So you support family, and people just be like, oh, it's your nephew. And then 2, it's still a fact, whether people want to talk about it or not. Women are not necessarily the first thing people think of when you want to have a discussion on football, right? And so it's like, well, you didn't play the game, so I'm gonna give you a half a step lower based on whatever you say. And me, and forever I've been saying, even middle school level, I was like, my nephew has technique. Like, he wraps up, he tackles. Like, I was like, it's the fundamental part of football that he plays. People can make big plays. You can make a big catch. You can make a big stop. But the things we complain about on Sunday is the lack of proper tackling and actually executing the full tackle. Everybody wants to fumble, but nobody wants to tackle. And so it was just good to see all of that happen. And so we will move on, guys, but I just want to make sure it's known, like, I post my nephew all the time. I always mention good luck to him every week on the show, but he had 2 forced fumbles. He had a fumble recovery. He had 3 tackles for loss. I mean, he was balling, so, whatever understanding you have of football, you heard what I just said. So, and as they say in football,
safety and getting 3 tackles for loss ain't no little thing. So come on.
Come on. Look, and the best description I saw was, who was that number 10 all over the field?
That's Mac.
His name is Mac McKellar. And I'm looking forward to them in the postseason. But I haven't still seen, so back to week 8, our wrap up. I haven't seen anything still yet to beat Tyreek Hill for celebrations. I'm interested to see if they bring out something new while they're over in Germany. I'll be looking forward to that. But with that in mind, I do think that I feel bad for Kirk Cousins. He's such a likable guy, and then also with the show, we know he's a likable guy. On top of
He's
that,
been playing. He's been having a good season this year. I mean, the team hasn't been performing, but it ain't been because of him. And typically, we say you don't know which Kirk gonna show up, but it hasn't been because of him. So
yeah. So I mean, obviously, there's no such thing as a speedy recovery for that injury, but I definitely, wish him the best. Also, I didn't peek everything, but I did look at number one. So just a brief moment on college. The polls came out, and Ohio State is number one. And shout out to them. It's a long road to get to my birthday, which is the day of the college championships. But I was thoroughly pleased with around the league on Saturday as well. So for college, I enjoyed some of the games on Saturday as well too. Now the odd thing is I didn't get to enjoy as much because my nephew's game was rescheduled to Saturday due to lightning on Friday. But Coach Pat gonna join us soon, so maybe we should get the games out the way that we're not going to talk about tonight. If you want to give us that quick rundown.
yeah, we can do that real quick. All right. So to get them out the way, games this week, we all picked Pittsburgh over Tennessee, Atlanta over Minnesota, Cleveland to beat Arizona. Brandon is solo picking Green Bay over the Rams. Yeah, I picked the Rams. And I'm solo picking New England over Washington. We all picked New Orleans over Chicago and Baltimore to beat Seattle. Brandon's also solo picking Carolina to beat the Colts. We all picked Vegas over the Giants and the Chargers over the Jets.
So wait, I know he's supposed to do what he do, but did you say he picked who to beat the Colts? Who did he pick?
Carolina. He picked the Panthers to beat the Colts.
Oh, okay. He said they done got a little win from us and they gonna keep it going, huh?
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
I saw it up close and personal. I don't think that's gonna happen.
I think our loss was more attributed to us than there's games when you just get beat.
Absolutely.
And before we move on, shout out to Denver. I mean, I watched that game, and that was a collective effort of three sides of the ball. It was truly defense was making a play, and Russ and his offense giving them what they needed to make it count. I mean, they was making it count. Them boys was out there hustling for turnovers, and it was more than just a division game, because we always say division games, but usually that game is not as close. It's always the Chargers and the Chiefs game that gives us more grit. But I was, people were like, oh, he was sick. But a lot of the throws by Mahomes were spot on.
Hey,
those boys were testing those catches and staying with the defenders and making them have loose hands. So I mean, we got to remember that it's always, like you say, it's somebody on the other side trying to make a good play too. And so maybe they weren't all on one accord, but I'm just not going to discount that they was balling.
Yeah, they had their best game.
Yeah, I'm trying to wait on B to get in here. B, I don't know. So we're gonna start the first game. I was trying to give you a second to jump in with us. I think you was watching online, but you needed the link. I dropped it to you. So oddly, I was gonna do things a little different today, and I was gonna start with us.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, and there's B. Oh, excuse me. I had to sneeze. Whew. Sorry about that. We're gonna bring B in so we can get started and let him join. What's up?
That was a mistake. I meant to put Indy versus Carolina. That was a mistake. I will never do that.
Wait. So you don't want to be solo? We got an entanglement? You making a change?
No, that wasn't no change. I don't know, man. I was the way I did this, skip the thing. Y'all know I did the underlying thing. So
we know. We know.
I just went by. I went by what was on the sheet. So
okay. If y'all want, hey.
It's all good. It's all good.
Well, just in time. I wanted to start with Houston versus Tampa. I think the guys want to win, and they definitely want to win at home. And if it's one quarterback, I want to make sure we show up against. I definitely want to show up against
Baker.
Yeah. Yeah. That's just my take on it. Mike Evans will be at home, you know, and we don't need him showing out at home. So I'm gonna need that defense to tighten it up. And so that's my pick. I picked Houston, but I wanted to bring up some other things I saw, because the trade deadline was today, and there were people, giving their opinion about why aren't the Texans, all in on these trades. And I think this is where you allow fan emotion to get ahead of being realistic. We are comfortable with getting wins. We enjoy them when we get them. But what we've been looking for is consistency in play and growth, right? We knew this was a young team. It is not, it is financial suicide to trade for guys who need big contracts coming up in 2024 when you don't already have enough core pieces to make any kind of run. There is no assurance, and even your own coach, people have put him to this question about there is no Super Bowl run for us coming up in January. And that's not saying anything about the talent. That's just saying we don't even have the depth on it. We were dang near, stressed to the point of when a safety went down. Like we stressing, like, oh no, please nobody else go down. We don't even have a backfield, you know. And so for me, I think people forgot that. They allowed a few wins to make them think like you should just go all in. This is not an all in year. We just slightly ahead of schedule on development. You're excited because you see things, but we don't need to be foolish.
Yeah,
So
it's not the NBA or MLB. You don't rent players, for a small fee.
no,
Chicago gave up a second for a guy that's on an expiring contract. Come on now, man.
Right.
You're not even competitive in your own division like that. So yeah. I'm with you.
well, I made the point of you're going to try to add parts on defense because that's what the fire sale was, mostly defensive players. And right now, your offensive setup is not competitive enough to beat Miami, KC, Cincy, Buffalo,
Even
and
Baltimore.
Baltimore. I said Baltimore, and the last part of this string before we saw Sunday, the Steelers. So you telling me 5 to 6 teams in the AFC look stronger on offense than you do now today, and you're gonna risk trying to beef up defense to do what?
Well, I know to get talent, but if you're not getting them for longer than this year, you're not doing it.
And
Yeah.
if you're not getting them to where it's gonna make you match up good against, like I said, those 5 to 6 offenses, you can get a good defense, but do you have enough offense to put up points? You might restrict them, but you got to put something on the board to win.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I was just about to go down that route as far as that because we actually lost that Carolina game because of the offense. But then the defense, I mean, the two losses that we should have so-called won was with Atlanta and Carolina, and those were offensive issues. And then, everybody's wanting a number one wide receiver, but yet you want to go get a defensive part. Everybody's want to go get another tight end because another tight end went down today for the
Yeah,
Texans.
IR. Hmm.
IR for that aspect of it. And Tampa is the same in the same boat. I want to say offensively because they're more defensively driven team, And then Atlanta beat them the same way they beat the Texans. So, with that aspect, yes, we need to beef up offense because we've been getting defensive players left and right, and um, to to put my spin on it, I'm gonna go with the Texans at home. They should be pissed off, for lack of a better word. They should be upset. And the way CJ's press conference went, he was like, this no. We need to be explosive. That word was explosive means I'm pissed off because we need to do more and be better because the last two offensive performances haven't been great. So, and you come off a bye week like that. So, but I'm going Texans at home because they're seeming to take more pride at home, and then they play better after a loss, believe it or not.
D.
Yeah, I'm with the Texans too, and for the same reasons that y'all said. It's a home game. I think what I talked about earlier, Gransberry, as far as how they lost. I think they didn't look like what they've been playing, week to week. So I think they get back to what's been working. I think the coaches have been doing a good job week to week at self-evaluating, and I think the OC, will self-evaluate this week and make the adjustments that's necessary. I agree. CJ, with everything CJ said. I was saying it during the game. We're not going down the field. We're not challenging them down the field. I think it was one play that we threw the ball vertically, and Nico had his guy beat. CJ just overthrew him a little bit, and it's like they didn't even try no more. So, yeah, I expect them to bounce back this week and get the win. They are 2.5-point favorite at home.
So moving on to 45 North, we got Dallas is going to be headed to Philly this weekend and taking on their division lead opponent. I'm Philly. D Jones.
I'm Philly on this one too. I just, it's the home team. I'm gonna go home team on this. Plus, I think Philly is the better team. I think Philly is cooking right now. With Hurts, they got off to a slow start this week, but once they got going, it was explosive for them. So yeah, I'm going Philly on this too, Coach.
I'm going with Julio Jones and AJ Brown.
Julio.
And the running game.
You ain't gonna say Devontae? You're gonna leave Devontae out? Julio just got there.
I forgot about Smith. My bad.
That's when you know you loaded, that you still forget a top dog.
Right.
Really?
Yeah, right.
The aspect, I'm going with Philly at home. They're looking like they're hitting their stride. And I think that loss they lost made them mad. When you have a players only meeting or players only talking after post game after a loss like that, and they were like, "Nah, I'm going with Philly. Division game, Philly on."
And that was just one loss.
Just one, and it made them mad. I mean, that was what tripped me out about it. I was like, "Man, this is one loss. Nah, this is more than a loss to us." So Philly has expectations, and then they go and get the safety from the Titans. I mean, come on now.
Well, my one fun thing, I'm not going to get into components of the game. I still say Philly. But my funny thing about that I enjoyed last week in week 8 is the tush push.
I was just getting ready to say that.
They did the tush push with a fake.
Right.
So it's like you can spend all your time preparing for the tush push, and they done turned it into a different play. Some people can execute certain things, and you just have to own it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
what they call it?
Washington tried their hardest to win that game. They went down, tried to score onside kick. Philly, it didn't matter. I mean, I saw somebody on Twitter said it's about time they did the counter to the tush push or whatever. And I mean, it was an old school wishbone play. Simple.
Yeah. So we're all Philly on that. But I mean, right now, I'm wondering to see if the pieces that San Francisco added will help alleviate the offense to not have to be so dominant. Because I think what's happened for them is when you go up against other dominant offenses, it's interesting. Well, Brian, you don't have to trust him against the Cowboys because he trusts himself. So I mean, I know you can't use direct comparisons, but I'm sure that Dallas trusted themselves a little bit better when they were playing the 49ers. I don't think they said, "Oh, we're going to go in here and we're going to get beat down." So it's okay. He trusts himself, so I'm sure he'll be just fine.
I wonder what he don't trust. I mean, it's like,
why you don't trust him, Brian?
Yeah, he don't throw a lot of picks, and with Diggs hurt, I think that secondary hasn't been as dominant as you would think they would be. right? So,
and he has a good offensive line. So what you don't
you got
trust?
receivers you got to cover. So I'm not sure what's there not to trust.
I think okay. I mean, I don't think statistically it's necessarily what may be your MVP season, but I mean, he throws picks, but if you match it with double the touchdowns, it don't really matter. I mean, I trust him more than Dak.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean that's fair though.
But I mean, Cowboys defense ain't showed up when it mattered enough. So I mean, I think that's fair. That's fair. I just think that's the easy way out. Everybody would say, well, if a quarterback throws turnovers and the Cowboys defense, but I mean, that's a fair opinion. I don't think it's gonna matter that much on Sunday.
I'll be looking for that. I'll be looking at that.
I just don't see him even attempting unnecessarily to give them the ball, because he one of those, like, he give them one, then he gonna tighten up.
Yeah.
Right. And you're going to have to make a play to get the other one. And what I mean by that is, Brian, if you watch that game with Denver, like, they took the ball on those turnovers. Pat wasn't just on that fourth down. He blew that one. I think that was just, he had to do what he had to do. And it was a turnover. But other than that, the other one, I mean, the corner, he jumped for that ball.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like a bad throw.
He just made
or a tip. They was making plays. So, and they're gonna be in Philly. I think Philly got it.
We'll see. It'll be good.
We'll see. Good. So come back next week and tell us about it. We'll see. If you got us wrong and you think it's gonna be a high turnover game for them, let me know. I want to talk about it. But interestingly enough, I wanted to have 2 games of the week, because I felt like both games were very good. So Dallas and Philly, to me, was the NFC game of the week, and AFC game of the week was Miami and KC. And they're playing in Germany. I do think by the end, after enough IVs and a couple of nights of sleep, hopefully Mahomes can shake the flu while they over in Germany. But I just still think that Miami plays, a more cohesive football. And this is one of them times I'm actually going to pick Miami over KC. That's my pick. Coach?
I mean,
it's actually a good game.
It is, because the reason why I say this is because KC, we were talking about it on text when, KC doing the KC Denver game. And then he was like, okay, KC's having an off. And then Denver actually played their butt off all the way through the whole game. It wasn't not a single aspect of it, all the way through the whole game with that. And then you have Miami. I mean, we were talking about Philly's wide receivers. Hey, we were naming them one by one. And you was like, how could you forget this guy? I mean, you got Waddle, you got Hill, Claypool. I don't even think he's been active yet, since he got in. He might have played last week.
He played last week. He had 1 catch, I think, for 15 yards. He played.
And then, I mean.
And Ramsey's back. And had a pick.
Ramsey's back, and it's embarrassment.
Yeah, pick field goal, not pick 6.
Right. I'm gonna go with KC having a losing streak, so I'm gonna go with.
I like how you set that up. Okay.
Miami this one. Miami's gonna win. Miami's it's close to them, and I don't know if Patty's shaking up, but their talent overall, and Tyreek Hill is gonna want this game. So I'm gonna go with Miami in this one.
Are you Suge Knight for Halloween?
Suge.
No.
I just want to know.
No, definitely not.
Okay.
All up in your video.
We was all up,
Hey, man.
Just for Halloween. I was just wondering if you was being sure.
I hate we agree on this, but we all agreed. I'm picking Miami too. Yeah.
We agree?
I'm picking Miami on this too.
Okay.
if this game was actually in Kansas City, I would pick Kansas City. But being that this game is overseas, I think neutral field make this neutral. So with all things neutral,
it's a Super Bowl in Germany.
Yeah, I think the talent is on the other side of the field. I think Miami's got the better defense. I think their offense is playing better right now. Yes, Kansas City has the better quarterback. Yes, they have the better play caller, but I like the coach in Miami. I like his play calling. I like the risk they take, and speed kills. And I think speed travels. So it's going to travel.
Taylor's traveling.
Who? What's that?
Swift.
Oh, Anyway.
Well, no, only because.
I'm with you on that though. I know what you mean, but
yeah.
I'm picking Miami because of the speed, man. Speed kills.
You know what, Brandon? If you entangle yourself with another game, what are you watching? This is what we have to start asking every show.
This massacre. I wasn't watching. It just popped up. I'm sorry.
What sport?
The sport that the Astros are in.
Oh, what is it? They got about 9 runs now. They killing them.
It's 10.
Yeah,
10.
Oh. 10 piece.
Oh,
that's a lot. When I checked earlier, it was 5. So.
Oh, well, it's a 9-run game now because Arizona just scored, but still.
Well, you know.
Sorry about that.
That's okay because you do it every time. You've been doing it for years. So
that's why you entanglement.
That's why you're not sorry. You just in an entanglement because sorry means something happened by mistake.
It ain't married. It ain't made. It definitely ain't married with first sight. It made it at first sight. It's definitely sport.
I don't know why you think that it makes a difference what it is. You do you understand? It doesn't matter.
I understand. I completely understand.
But why would you even suggest married at first sight?
That's what it was at first.
That's what it was.
Remember the first time he did it, he was watching.
Yes, I remember the first time. I was like, and you caught up in reality TV?
No, I don't watch that no more. I'm caught up in reality sports. That's all.
You don't watch any of them anymore, or that one?
That one.
Oh no, sir. No, sir.
Survivor.
It took you too long to answer.
Survivor and Amazing Race.
Get a judge.
You done. You in contempt. Anyway, look, Gonzalez just joined us before we got out of here. But Gonzalez, I want to give you a moment. And yes, you did say San Fran would take another L, and I was right there with you and said it too.
Y'all called it.
We called it. But I wanted to know who you think would win against Dallas versus Philly, Gonzalez. What's your pick?
He gonna be solo dolo.
But
I mean, he gonna always go for Texas teams, right? But still,
that's his team. That's his squad.
But at least he'll have a reason behind it.
He's normally fair.
So we want your pick on that game, and we want your pick on Miami and KC because we just wrapped up both of them. So tell us your picks before we go, because I'm gonna speak on, like I said.
You missed one, T. We can just give our picks though. Did we give picks on Buffalo 16? Or did I miss that?
Oh shoot! Because I was so hyped with KC and Miami. That was my AFC.
But this one is good too.
It is. That's why I said
it's not like it's a bottom feeder.
Yeah,
like a 1A, 1B kind of deal.
This is a 2 period. No,
this
1A, 1B already happened.
Well, they're in Cincy.
Oh, so they get a home game.
I'm gonna go with Cincy. I feel like these two teams are more equally yoked. Quarterback, they got the right amount of receivers. You know, Burrow got Chase. You know, Allen has Diggs. They both got good tight ends. I just feel like defensively, you know, they both just kind of just right there. It's like every little thing. It's like this. Like I say, it's 1A, 1B with them. And so the edge is who's at home and hopefully still in a rhythm, you know. Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna go with Cincy.
I'll just agree and let B talk. So I agree with everything you just said. I'm picking Cincy too.
I like the way Cincinnati attacked San Francisco because they said Burrow was actually healthy for that game. He had the calf, issue through and through. And we were talking about earlier in the year, D Jones, when I said this was a must win for Cincinnati, and it turns out that Cincinnati's now starting to find the rhythm with that. But I'm going with T on this one because they're at home. I mean, it's that they're similar with different style quarterbacks per se. They're similar teams but different style quarterbacks. You got Josh that can run, that can throw. You got Burrow that can slice and dice you up. And the running games are pretty much similar, but I think the running game may push Cincinnati over the edge a little bit, mixing and Cook, and just and the fact to be at home, and it might be a field goal game.
Okay. Well, Gonzalez gave us his pick. Of course, he went with Dallas, and he said by 10. He said by 10. He put some numbers on it. My only thing, which seems to be consistent when everybody keeps saying Jalen, it's like you're depending on him to fail in order for you to win, which is always odd because the better way to position it would just be if you're the stronger defense and you think your defense will attack the game, you would say it to me whether or not you feel like they're going to attack at the line or you feel like it's going to be stronger from the secondary standpoint. So when you say it that way, it's not that I'm saying it's wrong. That's not what I mean. But my point is your assessment is hoping on a failure in order to win versus a dominance to win. Right. Because all y'all are saying it that way. Like you're counting on Jalen to play bad.
So to use Brian's words, sound like they don't trust the Cowboy defense.
Yeah.
Not that they don't trust Jalen. They hoping Jalen fail.
Yeah. And I mean, I like your second comment, Gonzalez. I mean, it's not the only thing. I'm just telling you, you came behind somebody else that said something similar. And so it's like, it's odd that y'all would feel that the way you're going to win the game is Jalen having a bad game. Because, so are you going to score? Like you haven't said anything about your own, what the team you're picking and what they are going to do.
To piggyback off of that, they're not saying, well, Dak is gonna. I mean, are you saying?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is when we go back when they played Dallas, when Dallas played San Fran, when they were picking Dallas, they were like, our defense is gonna rip Purdy to shreds. We gonna get at him. He not gonna be able to do the things he do. We gonna shut it down. So I'm just saying, I'm noticing the trend of the people that said they pick in Dallas. Your trend is for him to play bad. You didn't say what you were gonna do well, and so that's an odd way to pick for a win.
Yeah,
and that's all I noticed.
But they've won games.
That doesn't mean you're still not supposed to pick Dallas. That's not my point. My point is every time I pick a team, I say why I trust that team to actually win. So that's all.
Miss Lou says she trusts me.
Well, we know you do, Miss Lou. And hopefully I see you Sunday and I don't have to give you a hug. Well, no, I want to give you a hug because I'd be glad to see you. But hopefully not a hug because y'all lost.
They game after. They game in the afternoon.
Oh, that's right.
I'm
thinking of this week when we played at the same time. So,
nah.
Woo! Well, Miss Lou, I'll keep you on speed dial. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's gonna be a good one though.
Yeah, I think that. You notice I didn't say anything. What did I say? I said Philly. I ain't even to say no loss, whatever. Because here's the thing, guys. For whatever you hope for Jalen to play, for Dallas to win, the same can be said about Dak. so and the stats support that. So that's why I'm like, I didn't even think that was the way to attack it.
Yeah.
But hey, that's okay. It's my nephew's last game. as a senior for regular season this Thursday. I wish him well. It's the most amazing, the only one that matters, the only thing that ever existed on earth that everybody wish they could be a part of is PV homecoming week. And I'm sorry for your loss if it is not your alumni and you've never been invited to enter the Hill, because it is the best homecoming that you could ever have in your life, and it changes lives. It changes people. I've been taking a group and none of them graduated from there, and it is on their calendar every year. And so we will gladly be in all homecoming mode starting tomorrow. And if I see you on the yard and I don't speak, it's all good. We don't have to get rowdy about
I don't speak.
We gotta get rowdy about it.
We ain't got to get rowdy about it. It was intentional.
Intentional.
I have LASIK, so I can see you now. Some years I said I couldn't see you, and I probably really couldn't. But I can see you.
Let's just get it out the way.
Yeah. I mean, if you don't really speak to me, don't speak to me Saturday. It's not worth it.
Especially if you're a Leo.
Well, Leos don't speak to me. They know better.
They can speak. She got Leos that speak. Just don't try to holler. Just don't try.
Oh, yeah. But I don't think they would do that anyway. I'll be there, Miss Lou. That's where I'll be too. I'll be there. Awesome. Well, we want to thank you guys for joining us. It looks like today was a big day for trades. Some teams are happy. Some teams just found out there was a fire sale. And it is what it is. We wish you the best. And so Coach Pat gonna tell y'all where to find him so y'all can know if y'all want to get at him about his picks.
Don't matter because I'm close.
Close. Oh, wait. No. Don't try to run on it now. No. Brandon, Coach Pat wants y'all to know.
No, I didn't know. I did not want nobody to know.
Tied for the number of points.
No.
But if
see what happens when I'm taking. Hey, see what happens when I'm taking it seriously. So the last 3 years I've been taking chances, and so.
Y'all, he's so happy to be in a number between 1 through 5. He don't even know what to do. He was like, I'm in third place. I'm tied in third place.
The crazy part about it is she ain't lying, though. She ain't lying.
I love you, B. I love you. I love you so much.
Hold on. So, PV Homecoming, you catch me on Twitter and Instagram and Coach B Pat. Do not. Hey, that's why your Cowboys gonna lose.
Don't be like that. Don't be tripping with Gonzalez because you have.
Now, Gonzalez,
y'all, Coach B Pat ain't never even been in number 10. He always.
She ain't lying.
He usually come in last place, and today I was like, I moved all the way to 3. And normally, if I was,
and I didn't even pick Thursday. That was the crazy part. I didn't even pick the Thursday night game. 2 Thursday nights in a row.
I've been there.
But you're taking it serious. You're taking it serious.
But you're taking it serious. You see how he just creates his own entanglement, guys? It don't even be me. He creates it. He just told y'all he's taking it serious, but he don't even pick the Thursday night game. That means he remembers on Friday morning. That's what that really means.
The only entanglement I'm worried about right now is how am I going to park at PV? That's all. It's the only entanglement.
I'll tell you about it offline. D Jones.
All right, I'll let your boy on Twitter or TikTok. That boy D Jones just posted a video of my weekend on my 13th stadium in Carolina. So check that out on TikTok. And then Instagram, that boy D. Jones.
He came with the 1-3.
He hit us with the 1-3. He almost halfway home. Okay.
He hit us with the 1-3.
Yeah.
Okay. I like. Well, it's your girl, the Gransberry. I mean, I didn't make it to Carolina, but I obviously had an amazing football weekend. And And I'm looking forward to another one. Like I said, I'll be at PV Homecoming, I'll be at the game, and then our game on Sunday. So it should be a good weekend. And I'm consistent. The Gransberry, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok.
You actually going to the PV game?
I went to the game last year. Remember, I saw you at the
game. Yeah. That's right. So I wasn't going.
You're not going?
You're not going to the game?
Why? You gonna be drunk?
No, I'm gonna be on the football field and I'm coming out there.
So you're gonna be at the game?
No, I'm gonna be on the football field making my money before I head up there.
You're working on the field elsewhere. I mean, we talking about a game. So
I ain't gonna be too far. I'm being Waller. I ain't gonna be too far.
Okay, but no, I'll tell you about parking. But anyway, y'all have a great night. Thank you for Gonzalez. I wish you well on Sunday.
Set your